Hey, everyone. Hey. It is your girl, Precious Williams, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the Keeping It Real with the Killer Pitchmaster show. When I tell you I'm so delighted to be here, y'all already know. On the Keeping It Real with the Killer Pitchmaster show, we take on all things that have to do with marketing, branding, and most importantly, pitching. Because I want you to slay all competition with a killer pitch. Whether that's your elevator pitch, your media pitch, your investor pitch, your sales pitch, your speaker pitch, and your interview pitch, I got you covered. When I tell you, it always is when you come on camera, things want to act up. And in the spirit of keeping it real with the Killer Pitchmaster, I know I've been not around for the last 2 weeks, and I'm so delighted to share with you what was happening in those 2 weeks. And so today's episode is all about all the way up. 4 speaking engagements in 4 cities in 4 days. Those cities include Brookfield, Wisconsin, New York City, Worcester, Massachusetts, and San Francisco, California. And when I tell you the traveling and all of that, the going ham and cheese on stage, just walking in my zone of genius. When I tell you there's nothing like it, I mean that, y'all. There is nothing like it. And so as we talk today, I just want us to get into the groove of things. It's been a minute, and there's so many things that have happened that I definitely just wanted to share with you all. So as an international professional speaker, something I've been doing since I was 16 years old, one of the things I think is so important is in your speaker journey, you may forget, or you may think that every month is going to be popping, or you're going to be book busy all the time. And sometimes there are lulls. Sometimes there are things that happen that prevent you from, being booked all the time. And I'm actually like a working speaker. I train and I teach all over the world, and I have great corporate clients. I work with entrepreneurs, speakers, and authors. But the work I do for organizations and companies and corporations, foundations, and nonprofits, working with sales teams, has been a joy of my life. And I think when it comes to speaking, really picking out a niche and dominating it is amazing. And so what I find with most speakers is they feel like they can only speak on certain topics or do what everybody else is doing. And I want to encourage you all. You can do some things. You can do some things in different spaces. And so for those of you who do not know me, I am Precious Williams, the Killer Pitchmaster, 13-time national elevator pitch champion, top Fortune 500 corporate sales chamber, five-time number 1 best-selling author. And I'm coming to you on a Sunday right before Memorial Day. And as we hold space for our men and women in service, our veterans, and those that we have lost, we're able to do a lot of what we can do for the sacrifices of them. And so when I say all the way up, that was the song I was thinking about today, but I was also thinking about this song. See if y'all remember this oldie but goodie from way back when. I'm gonna play a short clip of it. But this song has been in my head a lot too. So let me see if I pull it back a little bit. See if y'all remember this. Fresh in the place to be. And I think they like you. Oh, 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 I think they like me when they heard me on the other one. So it's only right that I hit you with a. I don't know. That's an oldie but goodie. And when I tell you, when I hear that song, I feel like it's time, right? So to do 4 speaking engagements in 4 days in 4 different cities was a lot, and it was fun, and it was scary, and it was crazy, it was amazing. So the first speaking engagement I did was at the Power of Persuasion event in Brookfield, Wisconsin, with Young Guns, under the tutelage of its founders, David Bellum and Andy Wings. When I tell you, so I got there the day before and got to spend time with Pat and Abby Miller, who had booked me for the IC retreat that was in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin last year. So we had deep dish pizza. And then the next thing I know, the next day, getting up early, making my way, which was right next door to the hotel I was at, to Brookfield Place. I walked in and there were already people ready to meet and ready to connect and network right before the event even started. Sponsors were already there. And I got to speak with the great Erin Marcus. So she set it off. She set it off. And then I spoke next, and just looking out at that audience and just feeling that they needed to understand the power of persuasion and how I could help them with their business. So as y'all were coming in, please tell me who you are, like your name of your company, and what are you hoping to learn from today? Come on in, come through. And if I say anything that really resonates with you, say pitch please, so I know you with me, okay? And I'm gonna come to my distinguished guest in a few seconds. And so after I finished, but there was a moment in the speech where God dialed into me. He said, talk about your mom, talk about what just happened with when I spoke to my mom on Mother's Day. And so some people, like I don't carry notes or any of that kind of thing. I kind of know what I'm going to say. I've been doing this for 28 years since I was 16 years old. Or 27 years. So in the midst of what I was talking about, I brought up my mother in our conversation. And when I tell you something changed in the room. And so after I finished speaking, they brought Erin back up on stage, and we were sitting there, and the audience got to ask questions about, of course, business pitch questions, persuading others. But then there was also this moment where things became really human, and there were people in the audience who deal with familiar issues and were asking us, how did we get through? And our queen, Erin Marcus, there were things about her life she does not share. And I know I seem like I share everything, which is not true. But it was a great moment for us to really, for people to see us as real, right? And so we were sitting up there talking, and it was so amazing, right? And then as that chapter of the day ended, people were outside purchasing my books. I'm hugging. And then there's great Queen Karen Yuso. She bought me this bag, and it had Queen on it. And I couldn't believe it. I thought she just had it for herself. She said, no, I bought this. I knew you were coming, so I bought this for you. And so as a speaker, I don't walk in thinking I'm getting gifts. I don't expect, yes, I know a lot of speakers like think we should get all the gifts in the world. No, I'm really honored. I'm honored that my services are paid for, that I'm treated well. And so to have an audience participant who met me at the IC retreat in Lake Geneva last year come with a bag that had Queen on it, you already know. So then the second part of the day, was us having these sessions with those who pay for the VIP training sessions with me and Erin. And so we went to another location. I think that was sponsored by R&R Insurance. Please get me right if I got that name. So we were in this different building, and, we're having this great lunch. And then we just started talking. And it's funny when you meet a fellow speaker who understands your rhythm and you understand theirs. So we started off, talking about, like pitching and presentation skills. And it hit in a moment. Someone had asked a question, and I knew exactly how we needed to have the day. So I spoke with Erin. I said, I'm going to start doing some pitch tactics and techniques. And then afterwards, you follow it up. I said, you started it off. I want you to end this, right? I have no shame as a speaker. I'm gonna do my part, you do yours. And so I'm giving them that hot tea on pitching and doing different tactics and techniques and having real like where they're learning, but they're also speaking out loud their pitches, and we're breaking it down in real time. Afterwards, Erin, she was giving up that business, so it was so wonderful, such a wonderful event, and people were buying my books at the end. And then we went to this restaurant, and we were all just sitting there chilling for a second until our table was ready. And at that table, it was just such a, I'm there with Andy and David and Karen and me and Erin. And I'm not sure if there was someone else, I can't remember if they were, but we're all just sitting at this table and just eating this good food and just talking. And it was so amazing to think you can go into spaces around the country and the world, and people are ready for you. So as a speaker, people understand you can do the work, you can speak. But there's another thing when you're a part of a community that receives you with open arms, and you go in early, you shake hands, and you show love. And that's something I love to do. I love to connect in real life, in person, before the event begins. Because when I walk on stage, I want to feel like there are people here. and you're going to receive me better, right? So let me go over here to my distinguished guest, Harvetta. Oh, Harvetta, thank you, Queen. You are a superstar. Thank you for sharing. No, thank you for being here, Queen. Like Miss Francis. She said, "Hi, versus pitch, please." I love it. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you all for being here. It really means the world to me. And so just going over the 4 speaking engagements. So then so we had a great time, and I want a little dessert. And Karen, she's a family practice attorney in Wisconsin, so she took me to Crumble, which I'd never been to. We walked in, and the moment we walked in, one of the staff members, she said, "How you doing, Aunt? Hey, Auntie." I was like, "Oh, it's like that." So we were having a good time in Crumble, and people were walking in. I know they were like, "Is this television? Like, this is all the way live." So I just wanted to share with y'all. It was so wonderful. Thank you, Karen, for my book. Thank you for my dessert. Thank you for my meal. Like, it was like everything was top notch. But I couldn't leave Wisconsin that day, so I had to leave on the red eye the next morning to get to the Go Big Summit with Julia Pimsleur and $1 Million Women Brand. First of all, Sally Krawcheck, the CEO and founder of Ellevest, which teaches women how to invest, $1.9 billion under management. She's had a storied career on Wall Street. So she, by the time I got there, because y'all know, I had to get off the plane. I went over to the office at Luminary. Shout out to Luminary, hashtag we are Luminary under Kate Luzio. Got myself dressed, went over. So by the time I got over, I got there like, I think 12:30. Sally was going on at either 1 or 1:30. So I'm walking in and I'm just so amazed. Such a wonderful space. Women are there. They're having lunch. And I'm like, oh my God, it's about to go down. Oh my God. And I know Simone Castillo was there. Dinette Little, Love Conquers All Salon, Unisex Salon. Then you have Chuck, Chuck Copenspire, Magical Weirdo. Latrice Monique Consulting, my stylist. Dinette is my colorist for my hair. So I'm walking in and I know who my people are, but there were so many people who knew me, and just like, it was so wonderful. So I'm getting myself prepared. I'm sitting there, and they take me to this VIP section, and I'm sitting here like, oh my God. So the women in this room are a lot of finance professionals. We have VCs there, angel. Like, I was sitting there like, oh my goodness, we're about to go big. And so I walk out. I'm sitting next to Sally before she goes out to do her keynote. I'm sitting awe of this woman. I can't believe I've been watching this woman for so long. And I'm sitting next to her. We're taking pictures and everything. I'm like, oh my God, I'm fangirling. Oh my God, I'm fangirling. She does her thing, slicing and dicing on that stage. And I start to put on my pink shoes. Y'all know the pink shoes. And I see my friend Ariel, who's a financial advisor, and his daughter. Like, it was like, oh my God, we have young people here. So I put on the shoes. I go in the back. And Dinette and Latrice were back there with me, making sure my hair was right, making sure my clothes were right. I'd already spoken to audio visual. And then I just had to have a moment by myself. And I'm standing there. You go from this to Julia starts introducing me, and there's so many things that went through my mind. And then I hear Moment for Life, the instrumentals, and I walk out, y'all. And this is where instinct takes over. This is where muscle memory takes over. I hadn't slept. Like, I'm telling you, we're going ham. And as I walk into the room, into the space, and I'm looking at the women and men in attendance, and I'm giving eye contact because I'm not afraid. I walk in and I'm like, it's time to give a concert. So I'm giving that concert. I'm like, I want y'all to see me. But this ain't about me, because we're about to go big, and I'm going to have to show you. And so, just having the audience with me, it was like seeing women who, other side of the world. It was like, oh my goodness. And then I start delivering. And as a speaker, one of the things is, you're in the moment, But there's a 12-year-old in me that's just like, oh my God. Oh my God, they get me. Like, oh my God, in my 40s, people actually get me. They didn't get me in other parts of my life, but they get me in my 40s because I'm fully me. So I'm giving them going from worker bee to what? Queen bee. How you become the ultimate rainmaker. All of it was important, y'all. All of it. So say all of that to you. That then I got off stage, I got to eat my BLT made from a good deli in the area. And then I come out and they're ready to do the pitch competition. And I had no parts of the pitch competition, which made it so wonderful. So I could watch these women kill it on stage. And I'm sitting there like there was kind of tears in my eyes because when I started pitching in 2011 and ended in 2013, I could tell these women were coached to the gods. Thank you, $1 Million Women brand. Thank you, Julia Pimsleur, for the training that these women received because I could tell on stage they were trained. And so then having fun, we go to a private dinner. It was amazing, but I got to meet people. I got to meet the sponsors. I got to meet the VCs. I got to meet all, and just sitting there. And I was with my friend Dana. Dana, she's at MasterCard, but she has her own coaching and consulting company. And her book just came out called The Fix. So having fun and just realizing that as a speaker, communication is how I get into rooms. Because it wasn't about my family, it wasn't about connections, it wasn't about any of those things. It is making a name for yourself and showing up in the fullness of who you are. And even when we were at dinner, y'all, I'm embarrassed to say this, but so I had on this hot magenta jumpsuit from Hanifa. And I was like, should I change? Because, there was some good food. And I was like, I don't want to spill on my outfit. So the queen next to me, she said, well, why don't you put the napkin up here? And I'm thinking, I don't want to look uncouth. I'm around y'all. Do you know everyone at the table put theirs up so that I wouldn't feel bad for not wanting to spill nothing on my outfit? Who does that? Who doesn't want me to feel bad that I have to have a fake me out bib up here so everybody else could do that so I don't feel ashamed? Now, in my youth, I would have never done it because I've been too afraid. I wouldn't have eaten because I don't, but by me saying what I was saying, it wasn't insecurity. It was, they didn't want me changing clothes. They said, no, keep it. You cute. So think about that. Then I had to get home because I was going to Worcester, Massachusetts the next morning. So got to Amtrak, still no sleep. Get to Boston, and my good friend Monica Adwani's husband came pick me up, drove me to Worcester. I'm all freaked out because I'm like timing and everything, and it's raining, and we're having real conversations. Will people show up or whatever? And I'm thinking it don't even matter. I'm here, so whether it's 2 in the room or 20, we gonna give it up. So got to her house, got myself cleaned up, and her daughter. Like I walk out with this black outfit on with my little red sash, trying to, I don't know what I was on. And her daughter looked at me because she's 9. And she turns to her mother. She says, I like her outfit. I don't know about y'all. I know, y'all probably think I'm all over the place. I'm really not. I'm really giving y'all what has happened over the last 2 weeks. And a little girl liked my outfit, her little girl. So we went over to the place. And women started coming. It was at the YWCA. There were so many women who, are in the program there, who are getting their lives together. And I met a queen who, she's like, can I come up in here? I was like, sure. And she was telling me about her sobriety journey. And y'all know I've been clean and sober over 6 years. And so we could just talk and we could talk. Like, it was amazing. And then the event was starting to begin. And so people were coming in. And I just said, I trust God that the right people are going to show up. And they did. And even more people showed up. There were women who were like, wait, y'all in town? Wait, both is me and another one. Oh, shoot, I'm on my way. And think about that. And so I met the dopest authors. When I tell you the queen who set it off, super sparkly, everything is her book. She started it, and I knew I was going to end the she was going to start it and I was going to end the author event. But I got to meet these wonderful women. Emily and I had done it before. I got to meet Noelle. I got to meet queens who had written like books to help Latina women, their stories. A sister who told her story of overcoming. It was just incredible. A new author who wrote a book about Nigerian culture for kids. Like, it was so freaking amazing, and the food was amazing, and everything was just right. And internally I cried. I was in so present, and books were selling, all kinds of things, but I just said, God, thank you. Because everything is worth it when you're getting your name out there. And even when your name is out there, you want to meet people. And so I will say this to you all. My friend Monica, the event was supposed to end at 8:00. It ended at 10. And Monica and I at 1 a.m. had to drive from Worcester to JFK Airport because my flight to San Francisco left at 7 a.m., which means we did not sleep. And we kept talking the entire way. And I'm sitting here like, who has a friend who books them for an event, does not sleep, and make sure I get to JFK? Because there were no trains. There was no flight that would get me. And so she was driving. I'm trying to stay up and trying to keep her up. And I just said, I'm loved beyond measure. I thank you, God, that I have people who will do this to make sure I get to my next location. Got to JFK and cried when she dropped me off. And I went into JFK and eventually got on my flight, my 7-hour flight to San Francisco, not knowing what was ahead of me, y'all. But I want you to know, I was speaking at the Ascent Conference, which is a SaaS conference, $15 million and up companies. And I met 3 amazing sisters, 2 7-figure Black women entrepreneurs, a 6-figure Black woman entrepreneur. And that was the highlight, is I got to meet sisters that I've never met in real life, but I've admired. We've talked on the phone, we've Zoomed, and I got to meet them in real life. We got to kick it. Dr. Kawana Irvin, she is, a government contract specialist. And I'm thinking we're going to work on some things. She's like, nah, we're going out to eat. All right. And we got to spend time. We came back to the hotel, was on the water with, things were so amazing. Then I got to meet Lou Livacious, Lucretia. And I got to meet her anchor husband. And then finally on my last day there, I got to meet Cheryl Parks, who is a sales queen extraordinaire, sold over $25 million in SaaS products. And I'm just sitting there like, I know amazing women all over the world, and I got to meet them in real life. So when I tell you, those 4 days definitely took a lot out of me, but I have to tell you, I was treated like royalty. And I got to see that as a speaker, if you do not connect with audiences, if you do not connect with conference organizers, event planners, no one cares. No one cares. So I wanted to open this up and just share with you that experience, because what did it teach me? I'm going to share that with you next. But for those of you who've never heard me speak, who are coming on, I'm about to meet with my guests. I see you guests. I'm about to show up on May 31st with Dell Technologies. They're having an Empower Hour with me, and it is free. So it's called Creating a Pitch That Pays and Slays. And so you can go to the link right there, or just put in Dell Empower Hour Precious Williams. Sign up, because listen, it's on May 31st. It's free. I'm going ham and cheese for an hour. It's going to be like a fireside chat with Catherine Rose of Get Wise. And I'm just so excited that, Dell Technologies, Dell Women's Empowerment Network has booked me for that. The second thing I want you all to know is that I'm Canada bound. So if you see it scroll across the screen, that's the Dell Technologies Join Empower Hour link. And then your girl is Canada bound. So if you ever want to know as a speaker, I am an international professional speaker. I've been booked by PeerScale, which is like it's a tech conference, and it's their annual retreat. So I don't know if y'all know, I'm Black on both sides, no Brazilian butt lift, no six pack abs, right? And I'm so honored that when I spoke at IMEX 2022 in Las Vegas, there were people watching me, knowing they were going to book me this year. And so if you look on the PeerScale website, ain't too many people who look like me on that site. And I don't say that with pride. I say that with your gifts will make room for you when people can see the depth and breadth of your talent as a speaker. So being the killer pitch master, I'm going to show them how to pitch better. I'm going to show them how to present better. So I have the keynote, and then I have a training session. Oh yeah, we about to go ham and cheese on them. What? So anyway, let me go and see what my distinguished guests are saying. And if you are in Canada, Toronto, Ontario, you might want to get tickets. I don't even know if tickets are even available anymore, but I just let y'all know. Yo girl is International Women of Ministry, Precious Williams. So let me see what my peeps is saying. Let me see what my peeps is saying. Come on with my peeps. Oh, Miss Francis. Thanks for sharing your story. Miss Francis, you are a part of my journey. For those of you who do not know, Miss Francis was a social worker who found out I was in St. Louis after I tried to take my life on my 38th birthday. And she had to convince my family in the hospital to send me back to New York City. They put me on a Greyhound bus. She got me into crisis respite. She got me into the Bowery Mission Women's Center. And not only did she do that, she came consistently to make sure I was being taken care of. She came to visit. She called because she wanted me to know I'm going to make it. When I first met Miss Francis, I was in and out of psych wards. Was it 7 or 8 years ago, Miss Francis? And I remember saying, I'm not worth it. I'm not anything. And you just looked at me and you basically told me, I didn't know who I was. And that I was going to make it. And I didn't believe you. And I thought it was over for me. And so when I tell y'all I've always had angels, I don't think anything I do surprises Miss Francis. Miss Francis used to come and take me to Starbucks, and she would sit with me and bring me little purses. And she said, "You gonna come back with a vengeance." And I did not believe her. So why is it important, even as a speaker, as a grown 40-year-old woman, when somebody got your back? She had my back. I've never received a bill from that hospital in St. Louis, Missouri, because it was all taken care of. That's someone who's going to fight for you in the trenches. When I tell y'all, as a speaker, before I could get on stage, I needed to have support. And so in my worst hour, when I was ready to give up, to wake up and know this woman was calling, looking for me, and found me in St. Louis and went to work. She didn't have to, but she did. So I want to say I love you to Miss Francis, because without you staying on me, without you coming to check on me, without you making sure I was taken care of and protected, I wouldn't even be here today. I wouldn't. I was a downtrodden hood recipient. I was on my EBT. And I just want to thank you. And I just want you to know that. Thank you, my queen. Jay Davis, thanks for sharing all of this message. Thank you, queen, for being here. I appreciate it. Zakia, what's up, queen? Hey, miss you, queen. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Oh, LinkedIn. Lisa Bosie. Lisa, I'm glad you tell me. Bringing a new business contact to your upcoming Empower Hour Pitch Seminar this week. Looking forward to discussing your presentation with a like-minded startup creator. Come on, Lisa. See, that's what I'm talking about. Queens bring other queens and kings to the table because they know they're about to get served. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, my Brooklyn queen. Willa, that's because you're an amazing human being. The sky's the limit. You better believe that. Barbara Washington, when I was in St. Louis, I think she She's the executive director of Matthew Dickey's Boys and Girls Club. They used to have this yearly banquet called The Sky's the Limit. And I remember I spoke as a senior. And then when I started to have some success years later, I came back as the keynote, and I'll never forget it because when I did it in 2008, the governor of Missouri, Bob Holden, was in the audience. And he walked up to me after the event was over, and everybody got out of the way because I didn't know who he was. And he told me that my speech was one of the finest he'd ever heard in his life. It was on television. They were filming it, and I couldn't believe it. And so I'm from the STL, Shawty. I'm from the Lou, and I'm proud. And yes, I got that country grammar. Shout out to Nellaville. You know what I mean? Thank you, Willa. Thank you for being here. Jade. Those women see something amazing within you, Queen. Yes, and they saw it before anybody else did. That's what I'm saying. They saw it before anybody else did, right? LinkedIn user. Lisa, Empower Hour, creating a pitch that pays us. Like, see, Lisa already on it. She already, listen, y'all can click on that link. Get it. Get it. Zakia. It's again, please tell me if I'm saying it right, because my thing wants to say Zakiya, but I think you told me Zakia. Let me know. Ooh, I love you and your powerful story, Precious. I got your back. I know you do, Queen. I know you do, Queen. Joanne Francis, you're welcome. The best is yet to come. And Joanne, Miss Francis, I can't call it Joanne. Miss Francis, the latter will be greater than the past. You better believe it. You better believe it. And so, you all, the reason why I am so happy to share this with you is because Miss Francis and I know when I came out of darkness, September 1st, 2018, when I came out of homelessness and I moved into pastor's house, there was no guarantee. I had no money, like unable to pay rent. And Pastor James Leonard had a good father conversation with me. And from there, it was on like a pot of neck bones. So when you have the right people, you know, if he had been any other kind of landlord, I'd been out on the streets. But I'm not. And he stood the test of time with me. So 5 years that I've been with Pastor and his wife and his child. And he's opened the door to many women who were in transition. And I'm so thankful that I was the first Bowery student to ever walk into, to ever be invited into Pastor's house. And here we are 5 years later. So the reason why I want to share all this with you is because even speaking at four speaking engagements in 4 cities in 4 days, that's tiring because none of the cities are close. But what kept my energy up is I love what I do. And I want to ask y'all, do y'all love what y'all do? I love what I do. I love what I do. Y'all don't even know. I love it. I love it. And I want others to love what they do. This year, we decided to plot twist. And so, as you all know, my current website is www.perfectpitchesbyprecious.com. But last year, I knew we were changing because our clientele was changing. And so I know you all know that my clients include LinkedIn, Google, Microsoft, Federal Reserve Bank, Intuit, QuickBook, SiriusXM, HubSpot, all of those things, right? Y'all know that. And so we were going to have to change things up because where I started is not where I am anymore. And so last year, I started working on my book, Rainmaking 101 from day one. As you all know, I'm a former attorney in the great state of New York, not an attorney anymore. And I wanted to write a book that was going to showcase the next evolution of perfect pitches, right? And with that book, we were in our rebranding process. So our next website is www.perfectpitchgroup.com. I don't know if I can do a banner real quick that can show, but I'll put it in here. I'll see if I can make a banner, and you all are more than welcome to check it out. It's soft launching, Perfect Pitch Group. So we're still ironing out some of the kinks to it, but I want you all to experience new website soft launching. So I'm gonna hold on, y'all. Let me put it in here. Scroll across the screen. So our new website is www.perfectpitchgroup.com. And as I have been growing and scaling, the first thing we put out was Rainmaking 101 from day one, which came out on April 18th, the same day that my grandmother transitioned from life to another life. 23 years to the day she died. It came out my fifth book. And no matter what high hopes I had for that book, I'm going back into the legal industry to train and to teach. I am working more and more with sales teams and sales organizations. And I thank God because He always puts this on my heart. You never stay where you are. As a trailblazer, there were always gaps to fill. And I've done a lot when it comes to pitching. Now it's time to show people how to write their own paychecks, how to build a book of business. And so that takes pitching to the ultimate level, right? And so being a proud woman in sales, going from heels to deals. The first iteration was Rainmaking 101 from day one. And if you all want to check out that book, it is currently on Amazon. And I can actually tell y'all the greatest thing that came from that is not only did my book debut at #1 on Amazon at full price, it is outsold 3 of my previous books. Y'all know it ain't been 2 months yet. It's already outsold. So I thank God for the companies and the corporations, foundations, nonprofits. I thank God for the book signings. I thank God for Ernst & Young. I thank God for all the companies that are coming to me and purchasing books. I thank God that you could not have told me my 5th book would outsell 3. 3. It outsold Bad Bitches and Power Pitches. It outsold Pitching for Profit, the Bad Bitches Playbook. It outsold The Pitch Queen in less than 2 months. My other books have been out since I'm 40. I'm 44. So the way God divinely orders my steps as a speaker and a trainer and a best-selling author is that was the first test. The second thing was creating Rainmaker 101 from day one training programs. And I can't tell you, I was in San Francisco and I got a call from the director of training for a major law firm. And she said, yeah, it's time. I done said your name and they ready. Where's that new website? What? And then she looked out, we likes this. She said, but Queen, you changed up a couple of things right here, then we're gonna do it. What? So the steps were ordered. The steps were ordered. And so the Perfect Pitch group is different from Perfect Pitches by Pressure. You can tell by the mood and the energy. And trust me, y'all, I know it's still a work in progress. But the good thing I want you all to know is I'm not booked from my website. People hear me. They watch me speak. They watch my TED Talks. They go to LinkedIn first, and they're already ready. Thank God I have an agent. Thank God that there are things that are already in play. And now we're getting our systems and processes really together. Thank you, Wendy Nicole Anderson. Thank you to all the kings and the queens who blessed me. Thank you to Rutgers School of Law Newark. Thank you to Spelman College. Thank you to everybody who's been a part of my journey. So when I say hashtag all the way up, there's a reason why I'm saying this to you all. So don't be afraid of the pivot. Don't be afraid to plot, twist, flip the script, because I am more than the killer pitch master. I am even more than the pitch queen. I am the ultimate rainmaker and can show you how to make it rain like snow from day one. Do you hear what I'm saying? And you all just heard a lot of my stories, some of the stuff I never talked about because I'm unafraid now and I am extraordinary. And so are you. And when you find out what that zone of genius is, you better exploit it from day one. Do you hear me? So let me see what my people's saying. Wait, y'all can see. Wait. What did I do? Oh, that's the Amazon thing. So let me take y'all back before I start going back into everything. As you all know, today's episode is hashtag all the way up. 4 speaking engagements in 4 cities in 4 days, lessons learned, and the joy that I had, even though I hadn't had much sleep. It was such a joy because I got to meet people. They're saying my name in circles. They all in the inbox. And I thank God that I lived long enough and that God gave me a second chance. And so I have 2 upcoming. I actually have a lot more speaking and get paid speaking engagements coming up. But the most important for now, because of the timetable, just so you all know, I'm doing an event with Dell Technologies. It's free. It's the Dwin Empower Hour. Creating a pitch that pays and slays. We have a queen, Lisa, who already put the link in there, but you need to RSVP. It's free. Trust, it's free. And that's on May 31st. I'll already be in Canada. And then I'm speaking at Peer Scale a Tech Conference as a keynote in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Y'all know I don't really know all of Canada. So if I got the states, I'm going to say Toronto or Ontario. Y'all know. And so I am proud to be here with all of you and to let y'all know, thank you for letting me be myself, flaws and all. So let's see. Zakia, did I say it right? All right, Zakia, I love it. Thank you. Heather Hernandez, Ordained Path. Y'all, I want to give a shout out to Heather Hernandez because when I was at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, with Ingrid Vanderveld, Peggy Cohn, and Allison Bagwell, Lynn Graft, and I know Dr. Shantae, Dr. Priscilla, Heather, me, Dr. Shantae, and her friend. We went to dinner at this. First of all, we got a little Tesla rock. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. We went to this restaurant, and we just having a good time. Why did Heather break me out some earrings that she had bought for me? And y'all, when I was in Brookfield, Wisconsin, that day I was getting dressed, and I said, God, tell me what earrings to wear. And I had packed those earrings. And I saw them, and I was looking at them, and I was like, those are the earrings. So I put them on, and I went to the event, but I wanted Heather to know I'm rocking these earrings, and I feel so protected. So thank you, Heather. Again, as a speaker, I don't expect gifts. It's nice, but I don't expect them. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Francis, all glory to God, always. June, what is the EDT for Dell event? I believe it's 12 or 1 Eastern Standard Time. But if you go to the link, it'll have it, what the time is. I'll be in Canada, so I think I'm in the same time zone because I had asked Peer Scale. So my flight comes in at a certain time. So even if I got to sit stationary for a while, I should be able to still, meet that time. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. So if you go to the actual link, look under Lisa Bosted. It might say LinkedIn user. It'll have it above what time it is. But I think it's 12 or 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to be going live for an hour with Catherine Rose and Dell Technologies and Dell Women's Empowerment Network. So I hope that answers your question, Queen. So anyway, everybody, when I say thank you from the bottom of my heart, this is my site as it stands right now, www.perfectpitches by Precious. Our new site, which is soft launching, it's already soft launch, but y'all can take a look at it now, www.perfectpitchgroup.com. And overall, the plot twist. Was I scared to change things up? Yeah. Was I scared as a speaker to change things up? Yeah. Was I scared? What if nothing worked? And I just had to trust in God's unchanging hands that everything is a test anyway. So if this isn't it, as an entrepreneur, you keep going regardless. And I've been blessed to be before all of you. And so some of my upcoming speaking engagements, I'll be in DC for a major conference at HBCU. Nope, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you probably already know. And that'll be towards the middle of the month. But I have a lot coming up, and then I'll be speaking at the Kiwanis International Conference in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And did I hear keynote? I know y'all heard that. I think they like me. And still black on both sides, still no Brazilian butt lifts, still no six-pack abs. And I'm okay. So as a speaker, embrace what they tell you can't embrace and watch how things change. I'm not who I used to be in my 20s, 30s. My 40s are just amazing. And shout out to Bevy Smith for her TED Talk that I just watched yesterday because Heidi Solomon Orlick sent it to me. And the real message is it gets greater later. And that is not a lie. Her whole TED Talk had me all in my feelings because I was with her. And my greatest successes in my 40s. Not 20s, not 30s, my 40s. So the bounce back game is amazing. I'm from the loop and I'm proud. I'm just trying to see if there are any other things you all may need from me. If you all need me to send the link, just type in, what links you may need. And for those of you who are new and have never been here before, make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn. Like, send me a message if you want to connect. Send me a message how you watched this particular episode. And if there's someone in your network who needs to know that it does get greater later and where you are right now is not where you will always be, send this to them. Again, everyone, it is such a pleasure to come here, for y'all to give me 47 minutes of your time. But I'm utterly thankful. And thank you all for coming to another exciting edition of the Keeping It Real with the Killer Pitchmaster Show. I'm usually here on Sundays unless I am out of town speaking. And I just thank you all for loving me no limit. And nothing can stop you when you all the way up. So love you all. See you all again. And if there are any questions, you might want to drop them now because I'm going to let you go. Okay. And if y'all talk about all this stuff in the background, y'all already know I still ain't unpacked. And I'm flying out this week. Word. Speaker Tales. Love you all. Wait, did I just see something come through? Hold on. Jackie Cannon. Amazing as always. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Queen Jackie. Talk to y'all later. Bye.